Hi, I'm Tran. I'm with SAP Analytics Product Management Team, and today I will provide you with an SAP Cloud for Analytics overview. We will go over some key features as well, and then followed by a demonstration of the key features for SAP Cloud for Analytics, the planning capability. So here's an overview of the whole big picture architecture of SAP Cloud for Analytics. SAP Cloud for Analytics is on SAP HANA Cloud Platform. It can connect to other data sources in the cloud as well as on-premise applications. There are 4 capabilities within Cloud for Analytics. BI and planning are currently available. Predictive and GRC will come in the future. The nice thing is you can now leverage BI analytics to complement your planning since they are in the same application. The core features are available across the entire application. For example, data connectivity and modeling are shared across BI and planning. You can connect to different data sources to bring in data for planning and analytics. Along with that is the rich visualization and collaboration, which allow users to gain insight into their data and share with their colleagues at the tip of your finger touch, really. So that is the overall big picture. Then we have Digital Boardroom, which sits on top of SAP Cloud Analytics, a separate application, but it draws the data and leverage the same backbone and information for SAP Cloud Analytics to bring into the dashboard for the boardroom. Very nice. SAP Cloud Analytics simplifies the end-user experience. The user is able to easily work with planning and analytic models and data with built-in visualization and collaboration. It really brings planning and analytics with rich analytics and visualization together in one application. You don't have to move data. You don't have to send email and attach files. You don't have to go to another application to draw your graph. You don't have to build pivot table and then build charts in Excel and move the data and lose the integrity of data while you're moving those data or move them into email, losing the version of what you are trying to share. That's the key. Now we're going to go into the key features. Home screen. This is the first screen you will see when you first log on to Cloud Analytics. At this screen, you can personalize it yourself by pinning reports, charts, which you like to monitor or work with frequently in your daily business life. And I will show you that in a minute. My home screen will be pretty blank because I want to leave it blank and then show you how I pin our result today from our planning demo into the home screen. And on the right-hand side here, you can also see the piece of collaboration that I can show. This piece can appear at any screen. Anytime you click on this collaboration icon on the top, whether you're in the home screen or you're at the modeling screen, wherever sharing is across the application. Models. This is the key piece. In SAP Cloud Analytics, you can create planning models as well as analytic models. You use these models to structure your data dimensions over here to create and calculate any value to achieve your planning results. The model really consists of multiple dimensions. The time and category dimension are dimensions that are automatically defined by the application for you. So when you first create a model, the time and category dimension are created and suggested. All you have to do is review its value and change value as you need. Then the next, but very important dimension is the account dimension. This is the required dimension. It is the primary dimension where you define account hierarchy, account types, and calculation, etc. So this is really your key dimension in any model. Next is we have here, we call it region. It is really an organization dimension. It is used to reflect responsible centers and people responsible for those responsible centers. And then here we have an example on the screen, which is like a generic dimension. Generic dimension is used for any other purpose, such as reporting on products. In this case, we have product groups shown here on the screen. customers, any additional dimension that you would like to do your planning and reporting on. Here is not shown is an extra dimension that you will see later on in the expert webinar series is that the pool dimension. The pool dimension is available to use for the purpose of allocation, where you can create that dimension and pull your costs from different accounts and centers to actually group it there and then allocate to the rest of the organization. And models in Cloud for Analytics can be set up very easily with simple UI user interface. You don't have to be a modeler or a guru to set up model for planning in Cloud for Analytics. Calculated members. In the model in the account dimension, you have the option to create standard calculation for your account dimension. And I will show you that as I create the model when we do the demo. And we also had an advanced formula editor here. So from this formula, you can even create more sophisticated formulas as you wish to support your planning. Stories. Story is the gateway to draw out your data, whether in the report format or in a chart. So once you get all your data into Cloud for Analytics, you go to Stories, and this is where you perform your planning using data grid report, using charts, and even can you do some calculation at the report level. You can create a report and chart to plan and analyze your data together here as Stories, and then later on present it from here as well, or share it with your colleagues from here as well. Private version. Private versions are nice because, as we all know, actuals are actual. We cannot change it. We load actual into planning for a frame of reference. Then we also load forecast in, sometimes for a frame of reference, sometimes you're able to change it, but you don't want to change it right away. You want to take a forecast number and say, hey, I want to take this and make another version. For my own version, called a private version, so I can do some update, I can do what-if scenarios, then I'm ready to release it to 3 of my colleagues to validate for me. Then I'm ready to release to my manager to review it. Then I'm ready to take this and turn this private version into public. That is the key of the private version. And it's very nice. You don't have to copy 15 Excel spreadsheets, save how many versions, it's all in here. And then when you're ready to want to delete the private version, then you decided, oops, I don't want to do this anymore. This scenario is not good. I just want to delete it and start over. You can delete it as well. You can quickly make plan adjustments to plan values and at an aggregated level by directly entering a number, right, as we've shown here, or a percentage, and not just a regular percentage, but a percentage increase. Like you can stand at a cell for gross sales of the United States, and you can put plus 20% just to see how that ripple effect can change all the numbers underneath that for all the regions. So it's very nice, and it's very hard to build. You cannot build this in Excel without a lot of sophisticated formulas. In this example, we said the controller would like to perform what if, like, let me increase gross sales by 20% to see what effect is on operating income. You can do that as well. Next, after you do the top-down planning and you said, I need to further refine plan values, you use spreading and distribution. Distribute, increase in sales quota from one region to another to spread sales, or you can take the number from, say, one large region, like, for example, the East region, and then you said, I want to further spread to Southeast and Northeast because I don't really like the mixture between the two. I really want Southeast to carry, say, 80% of the sales quota versus Northeast 20%, and currently it's 50-50. So spreading is even more granular that you can refine your planning data to the sub-node, to the lower member of the region. Last but not least, I mentioned this already earlier in the overview, is Cloud for Analytics has built-in collaboration feature where you can share planning information directly in the application. As you can see in the right panel here, A discussion can be created easily, like you're chatting in Twitter with your friends or IM with your friends, right? And share with your colleague. You no longer have to send email with attachment to share updates, and you've got like how many megabytes and gigabytes of email taken away, and 15 versions later, everybody's confused and don't know which version of report you're talking about. And also a nice thing is if you want me to review a number for you and you create this discussion and included me, I'm away at lunch or I'm on vacation, don't have my laptop, I can actually receive the notification from my mobile device, and from there I can review the report and answer you right away. So now I'm going to let you know, here we're going to do a demo scenario of a day in the life of a planning analyst. I'm a planning analyst. My VP Finance walked up his office and told me, hey Janet, we need to increase target operating income for Q1 2016 by 20 or 30%. And I really want you to show me the simulation and see how it affects the gross sales of the region. So now I need to work with my plan numbers to figure out how I can make this increase, and at the same time, the sales region can support this increase in their sales quota. How am I going to do that? First, I'm going to be playing the role of the planning admin, because right now we have nothing in the system, right? You receive a new Cloud for Planning system, Cloud for Analytics system from SAP. You don't have any data. So now we create and populate model. We use a professional user, which is the planning admin. Create a model, then I'm going to import actual and forecast data from an external file for, simplicity purpose. You can also connect to other data sources of DPC and BW for planning. And for analytics, you can connect to many other data sources. So then next, after I do that, my role will change. I will become a planning analyst, right, to answer my VP's question. I will go into the story and display operating income planning data, and then I will show you how I create a private version and update the plan data. Then I'll show you some visualization, how I make some charts out of those planning data to gain more key insight into the variances of what I've done. And then I will pin the chart to the home screen to conclude the demo. Okay, so we talked about home screen a while ago, right? This is the first thing you will see when you log on to Cloud for Analytics. And right now I log on as me, Janet Tran. So I only pin one chart here to show you, to leave the screen blank so that I can pin more chart later to show you. You can pin and personalize anything you want here. So the main screen, so it says home right here, and the main screen is this hamburger here, the main menu. When you click on the main menu, all the different menu options are available here. So what we do first now is we need to create a model. Remember, I'm a planning administrator right now, okay? So then I will go to my modeler menu item, click on that. My home screen goes away, and you will see here, it's modeler, right? So next to the main menu drop down, it will always show you where you at. Right now, I'm in the modeler capability function. So I'm going to create a model for ABC company, okay? I will click on this plus sign. It says new model. And I will name the model by typing ABC. And I will name it op income model. And ABC op income. This is very important. If you are creating a plan model, make sure that enable planning switch is on, because this will give you the planning categories. If you forget to do this, then this will become an analytic model where you won't have any category to plan on. Once I click create, remember I set the time and categories dimensions are system suggested for you. Here it is. So all I have to do here is review this. Do I want this start date? No, I need to change this back to 2014 because my actual goal is way back to 2014. 2017 is fine. I want to change budget to year because I only budget on a yearly number. Change this planning to quarterly, so quarter, right? And then after that, I look at the whole thing and I say, okay, I'm happy with this. The next thing I would click on is, you see here, that's the account dimension. That's the key primary, and it's listed here so you don't forget. The other dimension, you can click a plus, but accounts will always be here when you come in because you cannot save this model without having the account dimension. So here I would create a new dimension for the accounts. And I will name it, you can see here the type is accounts. And I will name it ABC account, ABC description account. And I will enable rate type, and I will show you a little bit. I want this model to be working with currency conversion. My company is global. I want to have currency conversion, so I switch the rate type on. If you don't use currency conversion, you're not a global company, you don't need to switch this rate type on, and I will show you how to turn the currency conversion on in a bit. Now I click Create. So I got the whole skeleton here for the account dimension, but it's blank. I need to have data. And I already got data out from BPC or another place that I have in Excel. So here's all my accounts. I'm going to Control C, move back here, Control V. I just created my account dimension in less than a minute since I have the data already. And remember, we switch a rate type on. Here you can see the rate type. You can have average or closing rate. For this example, I use average. Okay, now that we got the account dimension here, I need to create the other dimension that I told you about. The next one I need to create is the organization dimension. But in the interest of time, I also have it out here in the Excel spreadsheet, but I have created earlier to display to you and demonstrate that you don't always have to create new dimension. You can also select existing dimension. And for example, like a region, your company region rarely change. Why should you have to create dimension all the time, every time you create a model? You can just go out here and reuse existing dimension. Or corporate have create a region dimension for you. All the region will go in and just use the same. That will be the case that you use existing dimension. I would click the ABC region that I already have created for my other model. Click OK. I brought in my region. Remember we talked about responsible centers, responsibility center for this type of organization dimension. You also have here the ability to put in responsible person. If you want to have somebody to be responsible, so here are the people, which I'm not going to do in this demo, but you can do that as well. And so now I've got that. Now the next one I want is also create a generic dimension, because I also want to report out my planning by product groups. But I don't want to create it. I want to select it because my product groups are the same. And it's actually given to me by marketing. So I'm not going to go and change that. So I would go here and I can do a search and I can say ABC. See how nice that is? If you have a lot of listing, you don't have to scroll down. I just show you how can we easily search. Click on ABC product group. Click OK. Here it is. As you can see, as I'm creating these, you see this hierarchy on the right here? It is a live interactive hierarchy. You can move. I can type like no product, and I can group it, take it out of product group. And it will reflect over here in the hierarchy. You can see here, it's not here anymore. Now I take it back and put it back into the hierarchy, and it's back. You see how it's back to all product now. So that happens across. You can move this hierarchy. You can take, once you move it, this hierarchy will change. Very nice feature. And then you can also have multiple hierarchy as well, which is one of my favorite if you need to report in different hierarchy. Here, this is really nice when you bring in P&L or balance sheet. Look at that. And you can move, just interactively move these, just like I showed you in the other two tabs. Now I'm about to ready to save, but one more thing, last but not least, go up here to the wrench icon to the left. Drop down on it. Preferences. Preferences defines the basic structure for your model. Here you can turn on privacy if you want the model privacy enabled. Remember, a lot of people always ask me, like, can model be shared across? Can model be restricted to a certain group, certain people? If I turn the privacy on, I can restrict it. But in this demo, I'm not going to turn it on. I'm going to turn on currency conversion. Once I turn on currency conversion, you see here, it allows me to choose which currency rate table I want to use. So I want to use the currency table, so I switch to that. I click OK. So now my model is ready to be saved. Another thing I want to show you here is calculated members. We talked about this on the slide, right? Here, I calculated some simple calculation, which you can make a lot more sophisticated, which you would like, is right here where you go into the gross margin percentage. You calculate it right here. Formula bar is up on the top. Or you can go into the formula editor. So make it as simple as you want, or make it as complicated as you want to support your planning needs. Cancel out of here. Then a lot of you would say, how do I know which formula to use and what do you have in the system? This feature I love. Even I use it nowadays too. Click on the help. Click on help. I type here. This is where you go to and search for everything you need. As far as help, how to use a function, what formulas are available. I type in formula or report formula. Or formula, you can see the thing it remembers that I typed in before, formula in modeler. Search. Gives me the formula available in modeler. You want to find formula available in report, you can find it. It shows you how to use it, have example, very nice feature. I will close this out. So now I'm ready to save my model, okay? And I will go up here to the save icon and click Save Model. System right now is saving my ABC op income model. And it tells me that it has been saved. So here we are, right? Now, I'm still in the role of planning admin. Now, what I need to do is I need to load data, right? So that we can do some planning update and do what the VP asked me to do. So ABC op income, select that. Go up here to the import data icon. Click on that, and import data from file. Since I'm bringing it in from a file, I will select the source file that I store on my desktop, doing my expense report last night. So, okay, and model files, and then click on my actual. I'm going to bring in actual first for 2015 and 16. Click open. My file has been loaded. Right here, you can see it. Check my target model. It is the right model. If I don't want to load this model and I said, oops, pick the wrong one, drop down, pick another one. Easy. Click import. $6,000 rows, right? In about 30 seconds to load because it's on HANA Cloud Platform. Nicely mapped is my region, account, and product group. It recognizes those and it mapped it. From my file, it doesn't recognize what I name as time. So then here, just map it to my time dimension. Because I name it something that doesn't recognize, right? And then here, again, it didn't recognize. I put like amount, or some people may put value. It is my value, so I put it as signed data. So I'm all mapped and it's all green. Now I move to the right panel, right? Look at this. This is my files. I make a check again. This is my model, ABC op income. My category is actual. Here, remember we talked about the planning categories? Here you can load planning, you can load budget, forecast, and in this example, we'll load actual and forecast only. Actual, and over here, the version name is actual. This is the only version name that you cannot change. Every other thing you load, you can load in those categories and change it to different ones. But actual, the first time you load is actual. You cannot change it. And what I do is, the first time you load, you can use clean and replace because it doesn't matter. But if you accidentally load it one time and it's incorrect, you want to come in load again, you do clean and replace. So I just put replace. And then I don't have to reverse the sign of the data. Now, if you bring in revenue numbers in your file and you didn't convert it there and it has a negative, like a credit, and you want to see the positive in here, in the planning in Cloud Analytics, then you have to reverse the sign. And when you reverse the sign, of course, your revenue becomes positive and your expense becomes negative. And if you bring it in without reversing the sign first and find that you did the wrong thing, you can come in and change the sign and click on reverse and do clean and replace. So I'm going to finish mapping, and I have 6305 rows, right? Finish. Okay, and finish. See how fast the system loads importing this transaction data. 6,000 rows. I hadn't even finished talking my sentence, right? It's done. So that's nice thing for not being in other database that is not HANA. ABC op income again. Next thing what I'm going to do is load my forecast data. So we're going to have forecast data to work with. Import data from file. Select source file again and pick my forecast file. Open. I'm going a little bit faster because it's pretty much the same steps except when we get to the screen import. Then we can see how the forecast category is defined differently when you load the data. 8,000 rows are being parsed right now. Again, I will map. It doesn't understand my time, so I map my time dimension. Very user-friendly. I hope you guys see that because for me, I really like it. And then the next is signed data. You don't have to be, you know, BW modeler or anything to do this. And then here again, I would come in and I will append since I load actual already. And here, remember, right, I want to call this forecast. Now you see I have the option. I can call this Janet if I want, right? You can type whatever you want in here and just have to remember what you name it. But I cannot remember that memory, so I'm just call it forecast. And then I would do, you have 8,418 rows, right? And I would do finish mapping and finish. At the end of this, I have loaded. I've created a model. I've loaded my actual data, loaded my forecast data. I've finished my role here as a planning administrator. Okay, normally I would have to log out and come back as somebody else, but in the interest of time, I will stay here. So you see my op income model is done. Now I'm ready to act as a planning analyst and perform the planning using the model data that I just created and loaded. So we talk about stories, right? That's where the gate is for planning analysts. Click on the main menu again. Oh, before I go, I want to show you something. We talk about currency. I want to show you that currency table. Remember, we picked this currency table when I was creating my model. It's here in this tab called currency conversion. Every time you want to create a currency table, you go here, and it say new currency conversion table. And here's where it ties the rate and exchange in. So here you see the table has the rate. And you see also, remember we talked about rate type. Here's have average, and you can pick closing. So you can specify it here. And then over here, nice thing that you can do is you can specify currency rate for actual. One rate for actual, another rate for planning. However you like, right? So that's what I want to show you. That's where the currency table lives and how it ties into the model. Now I'm ready to go to stories. So click on main menu and click on stories. Okay, so I'm at story. You can see all my existing stories here, right? First thing I'm going to do is create a new story. So here, I click on new, and I create ABC, and I put it like op income. I just call it ABC op income plan, and I put by Janet Tran. Okay, so once I do that, I click create. So you can see here is you have options once you come in the story. Again, you see you are in the story, and you're creating the story called ABC Op Income Plan. And I don't need to import data because I already got data imported. Canvas is used for charts. If I just want to come in and create a chart right away, I go straight to Canvas. But no matter where you go, you can toggle back and forth. It's just the front entry for you to go in, but you can go back and forth between them once you get in. I would add grid because I want to create a report. So once I come in here, I was like, okay, where's my data? First thing you got to do is go up here to the plus. This is where you bring in your data. The data I bring in as dynamic table, which is very nice, right? And you can have the data, and I want to get the data from my ABC Op Income model. So I click OK. System is retrieving my data into the dynamic table right now. This morning, my system from Germany is a little bit slow. So here we are. Remember we load our actual and forecast? Here it is in my operating income, right? And we talk about private version. I don't want to mess with my actual. I want to do a simulation of actual. I'm kind of, brave, but I don't really want to touch actual. So I will go up here to my version management. Drop down on that. From actual, I will create my private version. And I will call it this update. Okay, I want to simulate actual. Act update. Say okay. You can see right away, it's telling me, hey, you copy this in category actual and here's add update. The number are the same, right? You can call it plan, you call it whatever you want. Now, I want to only work, right, with op income. This KPI performance indicator down here that I load in all of my account, I don't want to deal with it right now. So I'm standing in my data table grid. This is the key here, designer. Click on designer, we'll bring up the builder. The builder right now shows that I'm working with my model, ABC op income. And now I want to filter. You see this ABC account, that's the description of the account, dimension that I loaded a while ago for my model. Drop down on this. Click on manage filters. And all members are selected currently. Unselect all members. No, nothing selected. Select op income, and you can see operating income selected. Click OK. Now my op income is here. Very nice, right? And then I don't want to see forecast, right? So I will go down to my category. Remember, we create category dimension in time and category. Drop down on that. Click on the filter. Get rid of everything. One only see actual and actual update. Okay. The data is all there, okay? This is just a view and what I want to focus on. I want to plan on my relevant data, which is very nice for a planner. Now I've got op income, right? And I have actual and actual update, which is my plan that I want to do the what if on. Now I want to expand the node to show the gross sales, right? So I want to show you how this affects gross sales as we update the numbers and all the low-level nodes from a top-down planning perspective. So gross sales is shown here. And on top of that, I said, you know what? He only asked me to do this for Q1 2016. This data is all the years, so I need to filter that down. So in order to do that, I want to filter by row. So I go to click Add Dimension. I will bring in my time dimension very easily, and then I click down on this chevron. You see time dimension appears on my grid over here. Then I click down on the chevron. Again, I want to filter on time. You can filter by range of time or member. I filter by member because all I want is Q1. Unclick all of that. Expand 2016. Select Q1. You can see Q1 selected. Click OK. So now you can see Q1 comes up. I'm only focused on Q1, right, for that. And then what I need to do now is I want to go ahead and increase, update operating income. Say he asked 20%, but maybe I'll just go for 30% to see what happens. So here I can add, one thing you can do here too is enter direct number. And I want to show you how I can enter direct numbers. So let's say I don't want 137 million. I want 140 million. I can override a number from the top down. You see how all that ripples down? With the existing weight of the data, you don't have to do anything. So now I'm at 140 million. I would say I want to add, I increase it by 30%. All the number change again. So I just increase it by 30%. And you see gross sales have changed, right, to 1,661,000. Now I want to filter my account to just gross sales so I can see how this impacts the region, right, to answer the question the VP wanted. So I will go here and click on again the filter, and I will unclick everything. I don't want to select anything. Now I want to show you something. the gross sales vary in my account hierarchy. I don't want to keep opening, expanding. I'm going to search for it. So I will search for gross sales. Right away, here it is, right? No expanding needed if I know what to search for. Gross sales selected, click OK. Watch the data on the left. It's going to come down to just gross sales, right? And now I have gross sales for Q1, like I want to do the what if on. But now I want to add regions. There's no region data here yet. I go to my row, and you can do this to column as well, but I'm a row oriented. I see data better in a row, so I go to row, and then I will add my regions. And then for the regions, I want to drop down again, and you can filter the region here if you would like, and show and not show something else, right? But in my case, I want to keep them all. So I say all members, leave them alone, cancel out. So here, I will expand the United States to show you all region and sub-region. Every sub-region beneath this. Oops, clicked the wrong button. The system is slow, and then if I click it, if I'm impatient, I click it twice, and then it pull back up again. Okay, here we go, and I will click down to the West. And then I have to be patient, click and wait. Normally it's not like this. They probably do some system cleaning in my hub in Germany. So here we are, right? You see all the different ones. I expand all the nodes. Now I want to show you how we distribute, right? I want to distribute in the East, right? 962. I want to distribute some of the sales quota to the other regions, right? So I want to distribute 30 million to the West and 40 million to overseas. So I will stand here and click on my allocate values icon, click on distribute. So you have to be very patient. Now I would say out of the 962, I want to distribute 40 million, say 30 million to the West, then 40 million to the overseas. See the number I have preview here, show you how West and overseas will change, right? Even show you percentage weight so you can verify that. I click distribute, watch the number change. Not only the number West and overseas change, but also their lower level sub-region. Nicely, based on existing weight of the data, right? So then next I say, I'm not really happy with the way the East region distribution for the spread here between these two sub-regions. So I would stand at the East U.S. I wanted to make Southeast to carry 60% of the quota and Northeast to be 40%. So I would click again on allocate values and click on spreading. Once I click on spreading, here you can see the existing weight is 75 and 24%. So I'm going to go here, and I don't even know what 60% equal to what value. Nicely, the system let you enter the percent. So I put 60. I don't have to get a calculator and calculate what it is. 60, 40. You can see here in the previews proposed. I'm happy. I like that. You can also do this with other dimension, time or any other dimension. Here I choose region for this demo. Apply spreading. Update spread value. You see 36 value updated. That means all the products, everything, every leaf underneath the hierarchy is being updated for you. So you see the yellow highlighted are what I just did, change, right? So now I just did changing the sales for the region, and I'm happy with how they support the sales quota. Now I go back to operating income because my VP wants to see it from operating income view. He couldn't care less what these guys do. He just want to know if his income has been increased by region. So what I need to do now is I will go back to the account, and this is to show you how dynamic this is, right? We call it a dynamic table for a reason. Now I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back to operating income. So I select all members again, unselected, then all income. Click OK. So you will see that it will reflect that it will go back to op income. And I will, wow, all this data, I don't really want to see all of this. Close it. And then I just want to see Q1 by region. So you see here, I'm expanding by region, right? And then I said, okay, I want to show my VP a chart as well. So then what I do is I would actually say, hey, this is how it affects our income once we did the increase across that. So from here, I can click examine. This is where you can actually visualize it from your chart data right beneath, just to see before you're ready. The system auto suggested a chart. I mean, it's ugly. I don't like it. So I have an option right here, and I don't want my chart to be on the same page as my report. I copy to a new Canvas page. Remember we talked about Canvas and being in the grid and being able to toggle? Here it is. So then I like the chart, so I want to go ahead and change it. So I click on the chart, and over here my builder comes up. And I want to change this to bar column for my chart type. So change your bar column. Oops, don't like that color for actual and actual update. So I want to change actual to blue, right? Then I want to also, you have the ability to change pattern as well. So this is the a fork update, so I make it like not solid. And then I also make it to be, say, yellow. So now you can see my actual update, which is really my what if is in yellow, right? And right now I'm done with this, and I want to show a variant. So variants are very easily done here as well. You can go to Analytic Objects, and charts have so much more feature. I mean, I could sit there and do chart for 3 hours to show you how sophisticated our analytic charts are, but I'm just going to show you something planning people love, which is variance. And here it's already there for me, variance object type. I want to do it against actual as my baseline. Nicely here, right? You can see my variance chart. And I click, you can do by percentage as well, click OK. Watch this. See, isn't that nice? So now that I'm done with that, I'm ready to pin this to my home screen, right? So I will go here and pin to home screen. Story saved for me as well. Pin to home screen successfully. And then I go back to my page 1. And before I pin it, I want to change the title, for example, right? I can put here, and I can put ABC company, what if, op, income, plus 30%, right? Change that. You can format more. You can fix it and then format it just like an Excel spreadsheet format. Now I want to also pin this to my home screen. Okay, so that's pinned to my home screen. And then I want to also show you a little bit here is as you're working with this and you want to talk to your colleagues or anybody else, remember we talked about collaboration? While you're doing the update, you can go over here, create a discussion, and you can invite the participant, right? Here, click on this. I want to invite my friends, Michael Black and Sarah Wilson, to look at my number. Say, I'm not even ready to send this to the VP yet, right? And they are invited, and I click create. Once I do this, Sarah and Michael will have a notification, right? And here's my story. They will see both of these tabs. I want to show them. And I type here, hi, please help me validate these op income numbers, right? Hit enter. They will get the message with that. And then on top of that, you can also add attachment, do new task and stuff like that, but I don't have time in this demo to show you all the different features of the collaboration. Once I did that, I said, I don't want to see this anymore. I can click on this. It goes away. So that can be toggled back and forth just like that. Okay? And then now I want to show you that it goes, I want to be careful. I can also save, and you can also save as. I'm going to go back to the home screen now to show you what I just pinned. And since I just pinned two objects, it takes a little while to load the data. And you can see it's loading up, and this is all dynamic, right? It's bringing data in. So it's not like data that, and you can see here, voila, my plan. and you can size it, you can move it, you do whatever you would like.
We do have a question from Deep. Is the dynamic table a Microsoft Excel interface?
It's not the Excel interface because Cloud for Analytics, right, sits on HANA Cloud Platform, and the data is bringing the data I just did. The dynamic table depends on your data source, right? So I load the data in, so the data is in the cloud. If you integrate with BPC, then the data comes from BPC. And if you integrate it with BW, then the data comes from BW for the planning models.
Question from Hashir. From a functionality point of view, is the planning capability of Cloud for Analytics comparable to BW IP and BPC?
Hashir, as far as this functionality is concerned, Cloud for Analytics for planning functionality, it is complementary to BPC and BWIP. So it's not that it will match one-on-one with whatever BPC and BWIP has. That is not the intention, but it is supposed to work complementary to BWIP and BPC. To that effect, we have automatic model creation in Cloud for Analytics for planning from a model in BPC, as well as bidirectional data interface, which means whatever plan data that you created in the private versions or using the planning functions that Janet showed you, you can push it back to a specific BPC model if you wish.
Is there any limitation with regard to BPC on-premise and Cloud for Analytics?
Yes, there is a limitation in the sense you must have BPC 10.0 or 10.1. It doesn't matter Microsoft or NetWeaver. It will not work, at least the automatic model creation will not work with earlier versions of BPC.
And question from Kapil, how about AWS implementation? Is that
so I guess Kapil is asking about can we have SAP Cloud for Analytics on AWS or not? Well, if that is the case, that is the question, then it is not available on AWS because it is available on HANA Cloud Platform, which is SAP's own HANA Cloud. BPC, if you wish to, you can have it on AWS, but that's a separate discussion. Not Cloud for Analytics is not on AWS. As of now.
Currently for the analytics side, not for the model side. For the analytics side, you can bring the data in, say from AWS, say using Hadoop or something, and bring into HANA, and then from there you can use Cloud for Analytics. And right now it's only available for the analytic models and not for the planning yet. What is the value addition of C4A planning if complicated planning using script should all be performed in BPC? BPC is highly and a lot used by corporate planning, which is the deep planning financial analyst people that flips, balance sheet, cash flow, P&L in the big way. And like Praveen said, we are not replacing BPC. We're extending into the cloud. So there are users that are using BPC that are providing number to corporate, and the PPC people right now that are using Excel spreadsheets. They don't have tools to forecast their numbers before they turn it in and roll it into BPC. That's why we provide integration with BPC, where the medium and lighter planner can come out here and do their, say, a plan controller wants to only do forecast both sales and operating expense. He doesn't care about anything else. So he can just forecast that, and then he roll it up at the higher node and then integrate that back into BPC for corporate. So it is, we call it complementary and extend, so that your lighter and more medium users who doesn't know how to use BPC, doesn't want to get into BPC and handle all these numbers that are not relevant to them.
My question is, just like in BPC, we have multiple data sheets in a workbook. So, for example, if I have corporate expense in page 1, in this scenario, in page 2, I have employee planning. So I do all my salary planning in page 2. Will that automatically roll into page 1? Can I do some sort of a formula lookup between pages? Is
Yes,
that possible?
you can do lookup. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you can do the lookup in the account. So you would have to have all your data from your sheet. You have to see the logical hierarchy of that and put that in the account dimension to use the lookup formula.
Questions. Lots of customers have sophisticated planning models based on BI, IP, and BPC. What would be the value proposition for them to go for cloud for planning?
Yes.
So,
This statement is correct. Many customers do have sophisticated planning models in BW, IP, and BPC. The idea is not to discontinue their BPC as we said, but continue using BPC because we are also doing innovations in BPC, a lot of innovations. So continue to take advantage of those innovations. And if you want to extend your BPC and make use of this HANA Cloud platform, then this is a complementary to BPC. So by no imagination, you will be replacing anything, any of those complicated models.
is Cloud for Analytics planning available also for Partner Edge members to develop industry-specific solutions?
This is a good question, and that is the idea, to have partners develop some content around it, and we will have more details in coming weeks about this. As Janet mentioned, you can expect to have some APIs available in near future, and once they are available, then of course partners can develop content.
Go ahead.
Steve, I had a two-part question. I know it's easy to bring data from BPC into the C4A, but is it just as easy to write back data into BPC?
Yes, it is exactly the same process, import and export. It is bidirectional.
Okay. And the second question is to understand if C4A supports long text, since planning requires a lot of comments on a line item level. Are comments supported?
It depends on what comments you want to use. If you're referring to comment functionality similar to what you have in BPC, then that is not the functionality that we have right now. But we do have discussions, as Janet showed you, and you can leverage the in-context discussion feature of C4A to do similar to similar end.
But do those discussions tie back to the reference points within the dynamic table? For example, if I increase my revenue by 20%, and I would like to justify why I increased my revenue by 20% through discussions or through comments, can the user go back and see why I increased it? Will I have some sort of a justification column through collaboration or through the comments?
It's a different, I know what you're saying, it's a different mindset, right? It's like before, if you use, we use email or use other stuff, then we need comments in the spreadsheet or in BPC, so that when we send it, we have the comment there. But because this is in context collaboration, so what happened is the comment will be there. You can discuss a specific cell, yes. So like without having the time, you can actually sit on the cell and discuss that specific. So if I invite you to a conversation, and then what happened is I say, Deep, can you please take a look at this cell? When you receive it, the cell will be highlighted yellow, and then you can make a comment, and it will be tied to the cell in the context of that discussion. So to go back, right, to look for it, you can go back like you go back to email or anything else. You can go back and search for that discussion, closed discussion status, and you can say, oh, on this date in this discussion, Jan said blah, blah, blah to the cell. That's the comment. But the comment is not at the line item level like carrying on with the grid, not yet. It's actually something that we actually try to get development to put on their roadmap. Because a lot of BPC customers are used to that and they like it like that. So.
Yes, it's just a question because most customers want to see what happened, why I changed those numbers, And just to tie back to
Right.
why we did that.
Agreed.
Agree with you.